Nano, Raja, Neptune, Danali. It's Husky and Natasha AJ back once more. When we talk about vitality, the definition is the endurance to finish a run. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon, but for vitality, it's the final 2 laps for the knockout stage run. Let's hop into Nexterra for round number 5.
And the marathon for vitality has been pretty decent so far. They've got a 30% top 3 rate, and that's pretty fair if you want to make sure that you're in the top 12, if you're not just aiming for the number 1 spot. Overall, they've got the 3rd spot pretty much guaranteed to make it through to Point Rush. But of course, another Indonesian squad is Onyx. They haven't been showing up so far. They are the champions of Southeast Asia, one of the first to make this miracle of Champion Rush look so effective out there. We want to see more from them.
So far, it has been a nightmare relived by Onyx. Last year, they came into EWC, their debut, and they completely dropped the ball. But right now, still early to say, I'm going to defend these boys a little bit. It's their day 1. We'll see what they can bring us, right? They dropped at Twin Bridge and Mona Ruins, no contention. I'm surprised that Fluxo decided to shift away from Intellect Center, because 2 years ago, it was Intellect Center that got 3 out of the 4 players a FFWS Global Championship in 2023.
And an early shoot down here by the players of EVOS. Hax and Gates King down on the ground. Dela! He did manage to go in here for a 1v2 clutch earlier on, but that was thanks to the XM8 now stepping outside of his dive turner. Dela serves it up hot as well. Headshot to Ray, down on the ground, and Dela now buys the squad a tad bit more time. For that revival, Joker is still in here. R7 is not down and out just yet.
You got to give him credits for the utilization of the time turner. Right now, it lasts longer, it is more durable. You see the footwork, the bob and weave in and out to get the knock onto Ray, but unfortunately for him, it was a 2v1. EVOS getting 3 head start points just like that. R7 still in it, still very early on, but it's more like where do you pick, right? The place that they drop with the revive are all occupied. Plaza Riyadh by EVOS, Deca Square by Hotshot. The revive continue to come true, but as we talk about EVOS, Joker might make contact with Aim God.
Yeah, but the revival was already there, but now lost. Preying on the players of Fluxo. One after the other, they shut them down, and
no way.
One final survivor. Question on none of them at all. Down in the dumps, and lost showing who's boss very early on here at Nexterra.
Bested them bested them locally, and now besting them on the world stage. This is a catastrophe for Fluxo. They will have time to think about it, because R7 Joker just found Aim God isolated on top of the roof. R7 clocks in their 1st point of this round.
Absolutely phenomenal here for R7 when it comes to the recovery play. Joker goes down, but he's already bought that lifeline for the rest of his team members. Games King now just chilling by a vending machine in case things do go south for the squad once again. But I don't think he's going to take on a full-on fight with the rest of the EVOS squad, who have to thank R7 for 4 free points. Now Hasu running out in the open. Hotshots, let's talk about them now, because Hotshots, this has been one of their most phenomenal appearance on the world stage. Pakistan might just make it through to the finals this time round.
All they need to do is to play the last 2 rounds, make it to top 3, top 4 if they can.
Yeah.
But the chances are slightly dwindling a little bit. Anas not able to get any collection, and he goes down. Hotshot left on the last legs, and unfortunately, that's going to be Sajid RRQ hunting him down. This could be that terminus for Hotshot. This could be where they fall short once more.
Some back and forth off screen here between Dragons and Onyx. Onyx losing 3 players already. Dragon, it's a 1v1 between Onyx and Dragon. We need to check that out. CMOX down on the ground. And Dragons eliminated by Onyx Esports off screen. A tad bit unfortunate for the EMEA squad, but we were talking about how Onyx is lingering at the bottom of the leaderboard for performance today, and that is not a good spot for them to be. As they try to scratch and claw their way out of that, let's see if or not Alpha will be able to show us a tad bit of performance going up against RRQ.
And Alpha,
the M590 delivered.
And Alpha needs to deliver a couple points. They are in a very precarious position on the leaderboard. RRQ not only having to do with Alpha, they try to spread up, but Alpha has all the exits covered. 2 points for them.
Beautifully done. As Onyx now slowly but surely revives their players one after the other. Alpha putting RRQ on the back foot, but that's not going to be a total shutdown just yet. 2 teams eliminated. Surprisingly, Fluxo one of them. But an early exit means nothing to a team that has picked up more than 100 points so far on the overall leaderboard from 2 days' performance. That should be enough to tip them over into point rush. But of course, we want to see more from the two-time champions.
I personally think 120 is more than enough. It won't give you first place, but it will most likely guarantee you point rush unless the competition continues to deliver unexpected results, which we have seen over time, and it's still delivering. Multiple bodies dropped, multiple lives resurrected on that feed. Once more, Vitality now staring across the building. Core Memory sitting on the second and third floor.
Especially with the current meta where those revives are so much more possible with the coin machines littered all around the battlefield. You've got the T-Bar combination in there as well for those instant pickups. And you just have so much of viability to go in for that huge reset. So we've seen some teams get massive points, and Nexterra is one of those maps where you can really farm those elimination points. Thus far, EVOS as well as Lost have been onto it. 7 eliminations each as we spot out Della. What a player, man. This guy could just be the clutch god of this season.
Yeah, I think he has a very good chance of once more staking his name. I mean, we've seen him plenty of times. You know, Della, or Soy Della as you know him, regardless. Coming into this as well, I think if you are a team like Vitality or Core Memory, you are also looking to make a statement piece. We just saw someone from Hotshot getting knocked down, but Hotshot's survival run still continues. Not sure how good it's going to look though. BRU crossing paths with them, and Hasu is going to brush shoulders with Vitality once more.
Yeah, the circle definitely going to move towards the area of Farmtopia, Decker Square. And once again, great read by these pro players, moving in a tad bit earlier. But Buriram kind of playing it slow as usual, just kind of laying low on the outskirts here at Turbine. And of course, quick highlight as well, Rasya, nobody has been able to rip away the #1 spot from this wonder kid, 16 years old, and absolutely solid with the way he plays his games out there.
He's definitely one of a kind. Every now and then we will get a prodigy, regardless of whatever region we're looking at. But these kids, these up-and-coming stars, they come in with such a big bang that it almost feels like a miracle every now and then. It's a seasonal thing. As Oscar breaks the glue wall, 18 Deer gets a run down, the 5th point for AF.
Yeah, valiant dash indeed. And of course, the sacrificial lamb right in front of him, Alpha 34. But of course, very easy to get that done when your opponent's just one guy and you've got the rest of your squad backing you up. Oscar is just a double-edged sword. But of course, we saw it on day #1, that mad bum rush into Factory where 4 players got knocked down to the ground. That was phenomenal. I want to see one more of that play from Oscar today, man.
Plenty of Oscars in this lobby, that is for sure. Hotshot really coming down to just pure survival instincts, the will to fight on, because they have not been able to get anything done. It's not of their own actions, it's just the unfortunate circumstances, the reality that they kept running into different teams.
Oh, beautiful.
And then rest onto the shoulders of Hasu. Does he take a gamble on this point? Seems like he will opt for the safer route. Museum is the next closest point with a vending machine.
It's a very interesting plan here by Hasu. He could have stuck the full squad revival here with that revival platform, but instead is choosing to pick up those coins and, like you said, head on over to Museum, find a vending machine to bring his squad back in here. We'll check in with Hotshots in a little bit. For the time being, though, this might just turn out to be utter chaos. Buriram, EVOS, Core Memory, all in a tight little spot, waiting for that next circle to approach them at Plaza Ria.
And not only that, off-screen Farmtopia was occupied by Onyx. They scanned out Vitality and they took the portal goal too. So that fight might break out between these two Indonesian rivals. Another revive spree for Hotshot. So they are going to be back in the game, but time is going to start ticking pretty fast. Nando9 and Haone taking down the members of Alpha 34, a quad, and a 5th for Haone. He's just way too good. Basically locked in, and LOS lost 10 eliminations.
Oh, only with 5 eliminations so far. SVD in hand, unstoppable with that rate of fire and damage. Rigby rocking the same gun as well. They're going to be pretty deadly from those long-range shots. You definitely need those in Nexterra because you've got a lot of these compounds where teams are going to be hiding away at, only peeking from that window, and you want to be ready to take those accurate shots straight to the head. So we know R7 is ready for that final circle play this time around. They've got the combinations of that M590 as well. Of course, once again, highlight to not 1 but 2 players from EWC Esports, both Rasya and Ray dominating with the damage.
And this is going to be crunch time. And look at Hotshot's position once more, completely separated.
Oh,
full revive finally completed. But they are going to come in basically naked with minimum to work with. So let's see if that willpower is going to get them through. Again, top 4 is the best position just for placement itself, but with where Saji dropped, he's probably going to be fed instantly. Rasia picks up a freebie for himself, but it's nothing much that Hotshot can do.
Yeah, interesting move here by Hotshots. First of all, Hasu succeeds with the full squad revival off of the outer circle revival at Museum. 3 players back in here, and instead of dropping into one spot, which will be very dangerous, they have now spread out onto the battlefield looking for the placement points for the win here. I think Pakistan has got the right strategy. They just need to inch on forward game after game, not looking for the booyah. This is a smart play for Hotshots.
And this is the best course of action. Hasu even finding a vehicle to facilitate that rotation. He has finally escaped the blue just in time before the blue really start to do some serious long-term damage. Polygo being dropped down by R7. This could be a big jump. They're going to take it right now on 3 of them. The transport will be completed on top of the roof. Vitality on one side and Onyx on the other.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see some teams not forgetting the fact that the portal goal still exists. Yeah, a tad bit expensive, but the coin machines are littered everywhere on the battlefield. R7 making good use of that. A clear rotation round, finding the roof, and now they are in prime position to play this next circle. But of course, when it shrinks a little bit more though, R7 is going to have a very, very big advantage here. So those are once again big brain plays from them. But up against 2 Indonesian squads, Onyx and Vitality, this is going to be difficult.
Vitality just spotted a Hasu. So he's going to be taken down. If you're action right now, I think Hasu needs to make the call action. Just stay still.
Yeah.
Don't even let them hear you breathe. It's you and Anas at this point. There's no more shot for any revival at this point, aside from feeding free points to the opponents. But thankfully, you have RQ who just joined Plaza Ria.
Yeah.
And this could be a distraction that Hotshot can utilize to get deeper into the run.
Absolutely. And that is the right assessment, because Hotshots at this point of time, if they get eliminated, they only walk away with 1 placement point. They gotta wait for a few other squads to drop out there first. Lost is helping them out by shutting down player after player from Alpha 34. The boys still hanging on for their dear lives. Next circle. Does R7 get the read accurately here, or does Buriram, Core Memory, and EVOS find the next circle? Neither one, as RRQ is the one that's flavored in a beautiful spot for the circle as well. You've got a little bit of a half and half with a decent compound to work with at Plaza Ria as well.
I would like to believe that RQ also scanned out the northern side, because that Dinoculus took a scan, pinged out 12 players. But the baton is going to be passed from action to Anas, who is the closest person to the circle at Plaza Ria. Another big scan. I think this one most likely is going to be by RQ, by Lost, because Anas was caught in the radar. 5 members being pinged instead of 4, and Lost has 13 eliminations.
I can't believe Anas is still shooting at players at this point of time, because Hotshots really just needs to stay calm and not show up on the map at all. Play those placement points, because we thought Alpha was about to get taken down, but they're hanging on for their dear lives here. R7 is still alive and kicking on the side of Alpha 34. And he finds action on top of everything else as well. Big play by Alpha, big play by R7.
Nothing much that he can do as Alpha 34 getting wiped out. It's all down to Anas. First to go down in the round, but now last to stand. Rasia finds another knock. This one is a big hit onto Moshi. Lost stepping in again. BRU tasting the wrath of 2 different regions in a single go. R7 against Onyx. The glue wall will not stand for long. R7 starting to bombard the compound.
Well, fantastic glue wall erected here by Onyx, just bouncing off all of those grenades. R7 doesn't get to nick away a couple of extra lives here, and now they're out in the open battling up against the circle. But EVOS out of the window, straight into the firing squad of Lost. Nando 9 taking good advantage with their high ground action. Hotshot out in 9th, not enough placement points for them, but we'll have to see what they do in game number 6. In the meantime, EVOS desperately trying to break down the defenses they set up to go after Buriram.
And EVOS needs to take down Wasana. They need to eliminate this third party, an X factor that could turn it all around on his heels. Ray desperately trying to bring around the Rosie. Vitality joins the fight, and EVOS, they didn't want this to happen, but Vitality do not care. Wasana finds a second chance as those glue wall continues to be put up, but the blue zone is closing in. Vitality needs to break through.
Unbelievable unbelievable stuff from Buriram. Wasana hanging on for his dear life, but unfortunately for him, it will come to an end as well. Ray finding him in the M590. R7 now outside the circle, but the zone moves straight towards them. This is going to be a huge advantage. They need to play with their glue walls well. Core Memory going to be keeping Vitality a tad bit busy now.
And Vitality have a very good shot of stopping a back-to-back for Core Memory and getting a second booyah for themselves in this knockout stage. Core Memory really stuck on the second floor. They need to jump off the ledge. The time turner will only buy so much time as Lost gets eliminated off screen. Core Memory now takes the fight to Vitality. Cougar with the Oscar dash finally makes it to the backline, turns around, but Koja is ready to accept the challenge. The interception for Vitality works out. Core Memory still allowed, but R7 now joins.
Yeah, R7 not waiting for Vitality to take the fight up against them. GamesKing dealing with the damage that the blue brings to the table, going in for the eliminations. Dawn desperately trying to find his recovery. R7 not giving them room at all. Food really low on their HP, has the Trogon in hand. More importantly, needs to top up his health. The circle gets the rest of the job done. Jump, unfortunately, is not going to be able to save his buddy. Has got that Superman in hand, and now Core Memory finds a little bit of space to recover.
What a rotation. The launch pad. GamesKing survives, but Joker gets picked up by Noki, the only Malaysian representative and the first ever Malaysian export. He gets traded back. GamesKing is not going to let that slide, but Onyx, they're still holding up pretty well with a compound to work with. Jump lays down the launch pad. Dawn is healing himself up, but maybe Jump needs to take this leap of faith. And Abai, he sees him, shoots him down right in the midair, and there's nothing left for Core Memory.
Yeah, just shooting them out of the skies. RRQ, sharpshooters indeed. Now two Indonesians stacking above each other, looking to take the heads of R7. Question is, will the Mexicans be able to oust whatever the Indonesians bring to the table? They're going to allow them to do a little bit of damage to each other first before interfering in this fight. Either way, R7 will have to move first when that circle starts to close in 15 seconds.
They will have to make the first move, just like you said. Proactiveness. Even if they don't want to, it will be forced through circumstances. Final siren blast. The Indonesians brace themselves for a final confrontation. It seems like Onyx not gonna wait. They take the fight straight to RRQ. Absolute madness, but RRQ able to hang on just by a little bit. Onyx not able to finish the job, but Adam, he's not going to relent. They pursue RRQ. Joker finds Scribe. R7, they have a dang good chance of cleaning up the scraps. The Indonesians infighting might have just given this round away in R7 against RRQ.
Like shooting fish in a barrel, R7 taking advantage of the infighting between the Indonesians. And now Abe in a 1v3. How can he clutch this out? He's got the right gun. He's got the M590. Going up against a Trogon and an M590 in the hands of GamesKing and Della. But R7 playing it smart, going in for the flank around. But one great big mistake. Can he continue in a 2v1? Abe only finds a knock, and R7 delivers the first booyah of the day.
And once more, a region that is very, very less mentioned puts themselves on the docket. R7 joins the list of teams that have gotten a booyah. And that is going to bring some attention not just to themselves but to the entirety of Group C. RRQ and Onyx, they had a shot, but Onyx